Welcome back to another episode of Growth Through Ganja. Smoke with me, Miss Pearl. Look, alright, I'm just going to get straight into this one. The next song off the Fall Off album that I'll be using for this next episode is called Only You. So, this is my perspective on being the divine feminine in a twin flame relationship. I don't even know where to start. And the reason why I want to do an episode specifically on this topic is because I listened to quite a few episodes and then I listened to Your Father is also like your karma or something like that. I was getting a little emotional about this topic because the information that the speaker was, putting out there, I'm just like like I can feel myself sometimes, like my inner child gets so upset that it's like, look, I got all these questions, God, like, why me? Like, why did I have to have the absent father? Fast forward, I find out that I have a twin flame. And if anybody knows shit about having a real fucking twin flame, you know that the divine masculine, but the runner of the relationship, like, it's like, what the fuck? Welcome back to another episode of Growth Through Ganja. Smoke with me, Miss Pearl. Look, this is the first time in my whole life that I had a ponytail that I like. And it's my hair. First time. I am 37 years old. And this is the first time in my whole life. Alright, I'm just going to get straight into this one. The next song off the Fall Off album that I'll be using for this next episode is called Only You. So, this is my perspective on being the divine feminine in a twin flame relationship. I don't even know where to start. I don't have no notes, so I'm just going to be just straight rambling. And the reason why I want to do an episode specifically on this topic is because y'all know I'm always listening to spiritual development on this subject, on that topic, getting perspective from here, from there. And recently, a YouTube channel popped up on my feed because your phone's always listening to every goddamn thing that you're doing. It popped up, and the title was like, Your child is your karma, or Your mother is your karma. Um, it was one or the other. I can't remember which one I listened to at first, but I listened to quite a few episodes, and then I listened to Your Father is also like your karma or something like that. And um I was listening to it this morning before I went to work, and it kind of got a little upset about it. I was kind of getting a little teary eyed. I was kind of I was getting a little emotional about this topic because the information that the speaker was, putting out there, I'm just like like I can feel myself sometimes, like my inner child gets so upset that it's like, look, I got all these questions, God, like, why me? Like, why did I have to have the absent father, right? And then fast forward, I find out that I have a twin flame. And if anybody knows shit about having a real fucking twin flame, you know that the divine masculine, and they say it's not based on genders, it's based on energy. And I'm just like, okay. But the runner of the relationship. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay. So I think like my parents like divorced when I was like 3. Whatever. It was like right after my sister was born. And my father he just been on the go. His type was bright yellow, I guess tall, but definitely bright yellow. And every time we saw him, it was with a different woman, and we didn't see him that often because he spent a lot of time trying to make sure he established those relationships. And I do remember, the last time I seen his mom or my grandmother, and she was in the hospital right before she passed. She had on a hospital gown, and like, how the hospital gowns is in the back, a little bit of wind, just a little bit of wind, maybe. Yeah. Not having a father around to coach you up, it, I don't know, it's a different type of grief. It's like grieving someone who's right around the corner. That's fucking crazy. And we especially as brown women, we get all the criticism when it comes to the choices that we made. And it's like you almost gotta get old enough to parent your inner child in order to resolve these gaps and holes, because if all I listened to all day was motherfuckers' criticism, I'd be in a fucking corner balled up. But that ain't how I'm about to live my motherfucking life. For me, like, my father got what he wanted. Once he got the bright yellow woman of his life, he paid off all his child support, they got married, and, he was still here and there with my kids. But at some point in time, you get tired of that shit. And it's like I genuinely don't want to let my childhood uh, trauma of not having a father interfere with their relationships. But it's like, if I still can't reach you at this point, I ain't gonna keep reaching. I'm just not. And then, my father's also one of those people who saw me, happy on social media, saw me, in a different light. And then now he just wanted to act like he wanted to be around. It's like, did your wife say you can go outside and spend time with your children? Because I don't want to hear that shit. As a child, like, I got numb to all of that abandonment. But when I got older, it resurfaced. See, this is why I have to keep my body count under all my fingers, because I don't want to carry around a bunch of shit I gotta heal from. So what I do understand, what I overstand as a woman, is that when people leave, you let them. You don't have to be in a hurry to replace them with anybody. Now, I was a lame teenager trying to fit in with the crowd for whatever fucking reasons. And then, when I made it up in my mind that nobody was ever going to value me or appreciate me because, I mean, if your father can fucking leave you, then everybody can fucking leave you. And then imagine going from that to fast forward finding out that you're a fucking twin flame. And yeah, we've had periods where we had to just go completely silent. And when we reconnected, I'm just like, I didn't say anything to anybody. I just whatever everybody else had to say, I just let them say. I just let them ask questions, and I didn't really say too much. And then he's telling me the same shit on his end. And let me jump back. So I got, I developed the side effects of having fatherless childhood, abandonment issues, trust issues, low self-esteem. You don't really know your value. You're not really coached up on what to look out for. And it's nothing like being raised by a fucking hypocrite. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I also felt like I inherited a lot of my father's karma with the things that have happened to me, and it's a cycle. And then being the firstborn, like not only am I a firstborn, but so is my twin flame. We're 2 years apart. We have like one mutual friend. This shit is wild. Like once me and my ex stopped talking, like I gave him his money back and kept him moving, I was just rebuilding myself, rebuilding my life, and then I was like, do I have time to start over? I don't know. And like something in me was like I felt like somebody was looking for me, and so I'm looking for this person. And then boom, I end up meeting my twin flame online. And to know that someone has a very similar life to mine is insane. And fucking sane. Like, he would tell me stories about his kids, and I'm like, my kids have the same shit going on. And then we both have the same amount of kids. And then our youngest kids are only 6 months apart. Like, it's a lot of details to this twin flame connection that it is scary. And then even in separation, like, nothing changes. This shit is like Hancock. Remember Hancock? She said, I try to move on, and then you just find me. In different lifetimes. This shit is insane. Like, I've never loved anybody like how I loved my twin flame. And when we're both analytical, so we both be like, all the time. And I don't know, maybe his more than mine, maybe mine more than his, I don't really know. But sometimes a part of me wants to criticize him for something, but Like, I can't even explain it. Like, we even, like, if I was a boy, I would look like him. This shit is fucking nuts. We were even chubby around the same time frame. And then we lost weight around the same time frame. Like, this shit is insane. Like, when I was with my ex, like, first of all, when I had my awakening, when I woke up that morning, I knew that I was in a place that I was not familiar with. And the only way I got familiar was because of all these downloads and memories. I knew, like, meeting my twin flame confirms for me that I was somewhere else. And I must have been fucking spoiled. But, like, the where I was like nice, and I don't know, it was peaceful, it was calm, and it was like this was the whole thing. It was like those cute little intimate scenes on the movie Fantasia with like the Sagittarius when she was like fanning the petals all over him. I don't know. It was like, I don't know, it was like a whole different thing. And maybe I had wings. I don't know. I don't know. But I know him. Like, my spirit knows him from somewhere else. Because when I woke up here, I knew that my ex was not who it was. I know God didn't have that for me after I woke up. And then I knew, like, something in me knew that I wasn't here by my goddamn self. I was like, there's some, I don't know what it is. It's like a magnetic energy. Like, his energy is like encoded in my body. When I remember we had probably our first separation period. Because sometimes you gotta like shut it down a little bit, regroup, and then come back. And it has actually helped. And it's not like a breakup, it's like a pause. And as the divine feminine, trust me, I don't even fucking wait. Like, if we're separated, I just do all the shit I was gonna do without him around. I'm still going to the movies, still traveling, still going to social events. I have to still live my life because people have been leaving me my whole life. And this is like the first time, this relationship is like the first time I can say I released the abandonment issues, because when we separated, it was so confusing. And then, you're reading other people's stories, and then you think you fucking going nuts. And you're like, but I did talk to this person, right? Did we really meet? Like, okay, so you're telling me he's really over there. Like, I didn't just make this whole thing up. Like, other people saw us together, right? So it's a lot to it, and I've learned to free myself of my expectations really for anybody. Like, when we're separate, I can still feel his energy. One time when I like could feel like a magnet and like being pulled back to me, I was laying in my bed and it felt like he was hugging me really close. And it was kind of paralyzing, but it wasn't, his energy felt lighter. Like, I felt his energy and I'm just like, God damn, like, I'm kind of worn out now. Like, I know it's not just me. And some parts of the twin flame relationship can be heartbreaking, just as heartbreaking as growing up without a father, because it's nothing like a bunch of broken promises to a child. And it's like you're doing it on purpose. You mean, because you know the child is very impressionable, so next time. And then, next time becomes never worry. And when you get older, you realize like a dad's relationship with his kids can be whatever he makes it or whatever he allows it to be. Hopefully, if there's no woman in the way of that. But when a man says, because this is how I grew up, like, I would go see my father like every other weekend if we went. And then when I was pregnant with my daughter, it was like, only thing I want is weekends. And it's like, what did I not learn? Like, I started asking a lot more questions. I'm like, God, for this to be my story, do you really love me? Like ancestors, why me? And then it's like, who came before me with these same issues that were not resolved, and now they need to be resolved through me? It's like, when your ancestors sit around like, okay, so we're gonna put this person in charge, and it's like, is anybody gonna ask me my take? No, we're just gonna give it to me. Okay. And then I heard something recently about how older siblings are born to serve God, and I'm just like, and then they were like, like the younger siblings, like they just kind of do whatever they want, and I'm just like, when I was younger, I used to want an older sister, and I think that it was because a part of me was just looking for guidance in the right direction from a reliable source. I felt like if my father didn't give a fuck and he didn't want to hear me out, then nobody would. And I carried that shit around with me for a long time. Like, I didn't celebrate my birthday for a long time. I probably just started celebrating in like recent years, like genuinely celebrating and not just celebrating to please other people. You know what I'm saying? So that you're not just sitting around just looking like a fucking dope. But, I carried a lot of that shit. And when we separated, when he was on his side of the fence, I was on my side of the fence. I just sat and I just cried out a lot of fucking whatever. And they say March 1st is like, I guess, International Music Therapy Day. I don't know. I'll be listening to J. Cole during the day and R&B at night anyway, so I don't know. The music I was listening to a lot to kind of purge through a lot of those unresolved issues. Because when you meet your twin flame, like whatever you haven't resolved, that shit just come to the surface. And then if you see them also going through it, it's like I don't know, I can't even explain like the shock, because it's like, damn, I was just right there. Or I know exactly how that feels. So I was watching Matilda, the musical, because the music on there. Listen, when I was reading the comments to them songs, quiet gets me every time. Every time. So I would just sit in my living room and I would just cry it out because I needed my inner child to know, like, we'll never be alone again. And we've been here before. People come and they leave. It's just that I need to make sure that if someone's coming back, then it's because I want them back and not because they're just barging their way back up into my motherfucking life. And then sometimes you gotta let people, like I heard something recently, like a lot of people, they just give. And that's what the divine feminine could do, burn herself out or burn that energy out, just giving and giving and giving. And this person is in denial about their fucking feelings. And you're just like, I know what you're going through because I was just there. I was just like you. And sometimes you just gotta fucking laugh because they're working on their shit and you're working on your shit, and sometimes those clouds just run into each other. And I've never been this calm in a relationship. I've never, like, I don't care to have a power struggle with my twin flame because I know that not another relationship is going to replace this one because the way that this shit is set up. And then I can't have a bunch of niggas around my kids, people going in and out my spot. That's not a good look. And no, I don't have fears of being alone. The only fear that I had really is having a third baby daddy I don't like. Other than that, like, I don't really have many fears because for me, that's not what I don't want a bunch of lingering clouds in our relationship. And I don't want to carry a bunch of lingering clouds because at the end of the day, like, whether we stay together or we don't, I have to be okay with the woman in the mirror because I still have my own inner child that I carry with me, I gotta protect. And I'm my own woman. So I'm whole without my twin flame, but understanding, I overstand that it's one soul divided into two bodies with these life experiences in the 3D. Listen, just the details of the relationship just, it's fucking mind blowing. But and recently I've been like practicing, or not practicing, really just speaking more to, like, just, forgive my father. Forgive my father for not being there, and forgive myself for harboring or holding on to it too long. Forgive my twin flame for when he can't be there, and grant him grace. Let my father enjoy his life, and I just focus on what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I don't know. Maybe you got something from it. Maybe it didn't. Maybe we back next week. Maybe it won't. Either way, this has been Growth Through Ganja. Smoke with me, Miss Pearl.